Hi and welcome to John's Maths Book. In this video, we'll be exploring another key concept in mathematics. If you find this tutorial helpful, then please show your support by subscribing, liking, and leaving a comment. Your positive engagement helps me create more content and allows me to bring you more valuable maths lessons. Without further ado, let's go over to the whiteboard. Let's use triple integrals and spherical coordinates to find the volume enclosed between two cones. In this example, the equations of the cones in Cartesian form are z equals the square root of x squared plus y squared, which is the red cone, and z equals 2 minus the square root of x squared plus y squared, which is the orange cone. Let's take a look at the cones in 3D form using a graphing tool. And so this is the red cone in isolation. As you can see, its apex is on the xy plane. And this is the orange cone in isolation. As you can see, it's bounded by the xy plane, where z is equal to 0. And if we put the two cones together, we get this kind of structure. And we want to find the volume enclosed between the two cones. And if I limit the structure where the two intersect, we get this. And we want to find the volume within. Our first step in finding the enclosed volume is to convert the Cartesian equations of the cones into spherical coordinates. So we need to convert all the x's, y's and z's to rho, theta and phi. And we do this by making a substitution for z equals rho cos phi, x equals rho sin phi cos theta, and y equals rho sin phi sin theta. And so beginning with the red cone, whose Cartesian equation is z equals the square root of x squared plus y squared, after making the substitution, we have rho cos phi is equal to the square root of rho squared sin squared phi into the bracket of cos squared theta plus sin squared theta. And using the trig identity where cos squared theta plus sin squared theta is equal to 1, and taking the square root of the right hand side of the equation, we're left with rho cos phi is equal to rho sin phi. Simplifying this gives sin phi divided by cos phi is equal to 1. And using the trig identity where sin phi divided by cos phi is equal to tan phi, we're left with tan phi is equal to 1. And therefore phi is equal to pi by 4 radians. If we repeat this process for the orange cone, whose Cartesian equation is z equals 2 minus the square root of x squared plus y squared, after making the substitution, we have rho cos phi is equal to 2 minus the square root of rho squared sin squared phi into the bracket of cos squared theta plus sin squared theta. And using the trig identity where cos squared theta plus sin squared theta is equal to 1, and taking the square root, we're left with rho cos phi is equal to 2 minus rho sin phi. We can simplify this to give rho into the bracket of cos phi plus sin phi is equal to 2, and simplifying further gives us rho equals 2 divided by cos phi plus sin phi. To find the volume enclosed between the cones, we need to integrate over the region E and some infinitesimally small pieces of volume, shown here as dV. We need to unpack this and define our region using spherical coordinates. This will give us our limits of integration for rho, theta and phi, and then look at what dV equates to in this context. Let's begin with finding the limits of integration for rho. To help us understand the region, this diagram is a view along the z-axis from the xy plane. In spherical coordinates, rho is the radial distance from the origin to a point in space and represents the length of the line connecting the origin to the point. So rho is always greater than or equal to 0. So in our example, rho starts at the origin where it's equal to 0, and its endpoint is governed by the orange cone. So as we can see, when rho reaches the intersection point of the two cones, so where the orange cone intersects with the red cone, the journey for ρ is complete, as both orange and red regions on the diagram have been covered. So ρ begins at the origin, so the lower limit of integration for ρ is where ρ equals 0, and then continues to the orange cone, where ρ equals 2 divided by cosϕ plus sinϕ, and this forms the upper limit of integration for ρ. Next, let's look at the limit of integration for phi. Phi is the angle measured from the positive z-axis to the line segment connecting a point in the 3D space. We know that phi must be greater than or equal to 0 and less than or equal to 180 degrees or pi radians. So as we saw, phi starts at 0 and ends where it reaches the red cone, so where phi is equal to pi by 4 radians. So the lower limit of integration for phi is where it begins, so phi equals 0. And then the angle of phi extends to where the orange cone meets the red cone. And we know that the equation of the red cone in spherical coordinates is phi equals pi by 4. And this forms the upper limit of integration for phi. And for theta, let's use this diagram to look down the z-axis onto the xy plane. In spherical coordinates, theta represents the angle of rotation in the xy plane around this circular shape formed by the intersection of the two cones, and is measured from the positive x-axis in a counterclockwise direction. So in this case, theta begins at 0 and goes full circle, which equates to 2 pi radians or 360 degrees. So the lower limit of integration for theta is 0 and the upper limit of integration is 2 pi radians. We've defined our region using the limits of integration. Let's now unpack what we are integrating, in our case dv. dv represents infinitesimally small pieces of volume, and we are using triple integrals to sum each of these to get the total volume. Let's look at the dimensions of one of these. So if we look at the red shaded region, this represents dv and is an infinitesimally small piece of volume. We could think of this as a tiny rectangular box where the volume is given by the length multiplied by the width multiplied by the height. So let's apply this volume formula to the red shaded region. We can see that the height dimension, circled here, is along the radial distance ρ, and is represented by an infinitesimally small piece of ρ, which we call d ρ. If we extend lines down from the rectangular box, we see that the width dimension of the box, circled here, also lies parallel to the xy plane, circled here, and is the arc of a circle where the radius of the circle we saw was r when using cylindrical coordinates. We also saw that r translated to ρ sine phi when using spherical coordinates. The width dimension is therefore the arc length of a circle, which we know is the radius of the circle, in this case ρ sine phi, multiplied by the central angle, which is infinitesimally small, and in this case is d theta. And the length dimension of the rectangular box, circled here, lies along the arc of a circle, and this dimension is calculated by multiplying the radius of this circle, which we know is ρ, by the central angle, which is infinitesimally small, and in this case d phi. So the length dimension is ρ multiplied by d phi. If we multiply these dimensions together, we see that dv is equal to ρ squared multiplied by the sine of phi, d ρ, d phi, d theta. And we sum all these infinitesimally small pieces of volume using triple integrals to get the total volume. So we now have our triple integral, where we're integrating rho squared sine phi d rho d phi d theta. Let's now begin the evaluation process. Beginning with the outer integral to simplify things, we want to integrate from theta equals 0 to theta equals 2 pi d theta. Using the power rule to evaluate this gives theta, and plugging in the limits of integration, we have 2 pi minus 0, which equals 2 pi. And for the inner integral, we want to integrate from rho equals 0 to rho equals 2 divided by cos phi plus sin phi rho squared d rho. Using the power rule, this evaluates to rho cubed divided by 3, and plugging in the limits of integration, we have 8 divided by 3 into the bracket of cos phi plus sin phi all cubed minus 0. And this equals 8 divided by 3 into the bracket of cos phi plus sin phi all cubed. And now for the middle integral, we want to integrate from phi equals 0 to phi equals pi by 4 sin phi divided by cos phi plus sin phi cubed d phi. And to do this, we're going to make some substitutions. So we're going to let u equal tan phi, and the derivative of u with respect to phi is equal to sec squared phi. And using a trig substitution, this is equal to 1 plus tan squared phi. So d phi is equal to du divided by 1 plus tan squared phi. And we know that u is equal to tan phi, so therefore d phi is equal to du divided by 1 plus u squared. We also need to make a substitution for sin phi and cos phi in terms of u. So for cos phi, we know that 1 divided by cos squared phi is equal to sec squared phi, and sec squared phi is equal to 1 plus tan squared phi. So 1 over cos squared phi is equal to 1 plus u squared, because tan phi is equal to u, and therefore cos phi is equal to 1 divided by the square root of 1 plus u squared. And for sin phi, we know that u is equal to tan phi, and tan phi is equal to sin phi divided by cos phi. And we know that cos phi is equal to 1 divided by the square root of 1 plus u squared. Therefore, sin phi is equal to u divided by the square root of 1 plus u squared. If we now make the substitutions for d phi, sin phi and cos phi in terms of u, and change the limits of integration to reflect this, we get this integral here, which simplifies to the integral from u equals 0 to u equals 1 of u divided by u plus 1 all cubed du. And to evaluate this one, we'll make one more substitution. So we let v equal u plus 1, and it follows that dv is equal to du. And making the substitution and changing the limits of integration to reflect this, we have the integral from v equals 1 to v equals 2 of v minus 1 divided by v cubed dv. And using the power rule, this evaluates to minus 1 over v plus 1 over 2v squared. And plugging in the limits of integration, this evaluates to 1/8. And multiplying this result by 16 pi by 3, we get 2 pi by 3. And so the volume enclosed between the two cones equates to 2 pi divided by 3 cubic units.